there, welcome back to Crafters TV. I hope you're having a glorious weekend. You're joining us for a craft class, which is fantastic. It's a really great opportunity. I mean, there's going to be amazing techniques if you are new to crafting, or this particular technique, which this week will be embossing. However, seasoned pros out there, you're going to learn loads of awesome things too. We've got lots of different styles of embossing folders for you on the show today as well. So we're looking at embossing folders with stencils. There's going to be cut and emboss folders for you. There's going to be 3D embossing folders. There's going to be absolutely loads, brilliant starter kits, and also wonderful collections for beginners as well as seasoned pros alike. I am not on my own, oh no, I am reunited, finally, at long last, with my TV wife. Debbie's here. How are you? It's been forever, Debbie.
It seems like forever, yeah. Joe texted me last night and I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen you for such a long time. So yeah, great to be back with my TV hubby. So, and boy, have we got a craft class. I adore embossing folders, and I have to tell you, these cards in front of me, we're going to be learning how to do throughout the next 2 hours. Now, I'm showing you this one first because the hummingbird we don't have a lot of in stock. So I predict this is going to go very quickly, Joe. It's a beautiful embossing folder, and you're getting stencils with this one as well. So we're going to be learning about that. We're going to be embossing onto Centura and colouring in with alcohol markers. So we're going to be creating some spectacular things. And the Midas ink pads, we're going to be learning how to do letterpress like this technique with the Midas ink pads. We're also going to be bringing you those beautiful classic folders, or classic folders, which have the cut and emboss element to them, and this gorgeous poppy one as well. So we're going to be making this one though into a box. So we're going to be doing beautiful elements as we go along.
Absolutely, loads coming up for you, which is brilliant. Lots of you saying hello as well. You can get in touch with me in all the usual ways. Craft class is a great opportunity for you to get any of your questions into us as well. It really is that one show. We'll go a bit more back to basics for you. So covering absolutely everything. A great opportunity whether you want to ask those questions on Facebook or across on YouTube. Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion across on YouTube, which is fantastic. Now we're going to kick things off with an amazing starter collection. So if you've never embossed before, you've got everything you need in here really, other than a die cutting machine to get you going. 3 awesome 10 packs of our Centura Pearl, which is fantastic. So you've got that lovely dusty pink in there, snow white with a hint of silver, and you're going to get that black in there too. You're then going to get the gilding wax. Now the gilding wax is absolutely gorgeous. Perfect for embossing, going to work really well on things like your embossed papers, but it does work really well on things like metal. You can use it on wood and a whole host of other different finishes. And then you're going to get 4 different embossing folders in here. I've got a few actually, a few things to show you here with them. So this one here is a butterfly swirl. So this is great. This is a cut and emboss folder. And that cuts the aperture. It also cuts these beautiful butterflies as well. So you can get loads of dimension on those should you wish to. You've then also got this one here. Now this is from your Caring Thoughts collection. This is the Grande lace that you've got in here. You're also going to get something from our Best of British collection too, which is your picket fence. And we're going to give you a 3D embossing folder as well called Butterfly Dreams, which looks absolutely gorgeous. You can get all of that £30 or $40 today, which is great value, down from, as you can see, almost £48 and over $63. So a really great price for a perfect starter kit. And actually on that note, Debbie, then, if someone had never embossed before, what would be your sort of top tips to make sure you get a great result every single time?
So first of all, it's learning what sort of embossing folder that you have to start with. So we do 2D embossing folders, 3D embossing folders, and we do cut and emboss folders. So because it's a craft class, we're going to be learning absolute basics right from the beginning of how you get that great embossed result. This bundle, this first bundle, you can see this card in front of me, is one of the folders in there. This is a cut and emboss one. It's absolutely beautiful. What it means is that it cuts all this aperture out and cuts your butterflies. I mean, how amazing is that? And then you get the beautiful embossing with them as well.
Really
so you're going to be
gorgeous.
able to, yeah, really, really lovely. You're going to be able to make lovely, beautiful embossed ones there. You're then getting that border dot. I mean, look how gorgeous that border is. Such a beautiful one. And you can see even the smaller borders will work lovely on bigger cards, and you'll be able to use them in your Gemini Go. I absolutely love this picket fence one. It just lends
Super
itself
cute,
to
isn't it?
yeah, so many different things. And then just this last one at the bottom onto your pattern papers just adds that immaculate detail to what you're doing on your card.
Awesome.
So, am I starting a demo?
You are good to go.
Yeah, I'm just going to get stuck in then, Joe, because what I'm going to do is use that first set, because there's so many elements in there that you're ready to craft straight away. And I love that. So if you are a beginner, this is a great set to get started with. So let's start with the 2D folder. Now, this is one of the 2D folders. I've just popped in a piece of that gorgeous, I mean, you can see how gorgeous it is. It has a gorgeous shine on it. It's the Centura Pearl in black. Now this one is one of my all-time favorites, because what that does do is it lends itself to lots of different things, by matte and layering, to die cutting, but also to embossing. And I'm going to bring in this gorgeous, I think it's the antique gold, yes, which is what you're getting in that collection. And it's a really beautiful sort of bronzy colour, which is lovely. So we're going to show you how to use that. So a 2D folder, I'm going to bring in my Gemini plates. Well, I'm going to bring in my Gemini Junior plates because I'm using my large Gemini, but I am going to put it through my Gemini with my Gemini Junior plates. Now, what I'm going to do with a 2D folder is all you need is your top and bottom plate. Now, what I would say is the only thing you would need ever any extra, and I like to put it in, is your metal shim, because actually all it does is adds a really thin layer but gives you an extra deep embossing. So we're going to pop that in and pop in your folder with your card inside, and that's all you need, your top and bottom cutting plates. You don't actually need this folder. I just want to, and I want to tell you all the tips and tricks that I learn as a crafter going along. So we're going to pop that in there and run that through, and that's all you have to do. All the embossing folders on the show will be, you can put into any die cutting machine. Just follow your own user manual.
Brilliant. Jennifer Johnson saying, I need this craft class. I'm awful at embossing, Debbie, is what she says. So, but hopefully you won't be in 2 hours' time, Jennifer.
Absolutely not. Now look at that embossing on there. Now, considering that is a 2D embossing folder, you are getting the most awesome just embossing on that. What's lovely about this one, if you wanted to just use your craft knife or scissors to go around the edges, you could create yourself 2 beautiful embossed panels,
love that idea.
which would be lovely. So what we're going to do with that though, Joe, is we're going to add that gorgeous antique gold gilding wax. Couldn't think of the name then. Now, gilding wax, it's little is better because you can build it up. All you're going to do is apply some to your finger and then wipe it back on. You don't want to wipe it like that and have sort of little splodges. Right. You want to wipe it off because less is more. And what we're going to do is just tickle the card itself. You can always add to, but you can't take away. So again, you're just going to tickle the card. Yes, we're going to tickle the card. So you'll find it is literally a really light hand onto that embossing.
So beautiful.
It's so beautiful. And I actually like a lot of gilding wax on my embossing. So I tend to sort of build it up. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to put too much on at once and get splodges, because you can't take that away.
When you're building it up, can you put too much on?
You can, but I would just do it lightly each step of the way. If you don't have much on your fingers, then you can't really put too much on.
Okay, cool.
So it is just a case of being very, very light-handed. If you are a heavy-handed person, just practice. Because what's great about embossing, Joe, is you can feel it. You know, I really wish I could reach out. Anyone that's not embossed before, the lady who was saying she's not very good at embossing.
Jennifer it was.
So Jennifer, everybody can emboss. It is literally just a case of understanding the level of embossing. So as you've got that level, you can sort of, because you can see in between this embossing, it's still going through very lightly. There is different techniques to that. You could actually use a brush. You could put it on with a paintbrush. I would keep one completely separate. And I'm only going to do this side so we can tell the difference between the top and the bottom. But a lot of people I also know use baby buds, you know, the little buds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, little baby. Is that what they're called?
Q-tips, or
yeah,
I think that's
like
the
the
brand, isn't it?
Q-tips, yeah. Yeah, like a little cotton bud, that's what they're called, isn't it? Yeah, cotton bud. Bud. Yeah, you could use those and you can get real precision with that. So there you can see, I mean, look how absolutely stunning that is.
Beautiful.
So now what you can do with that as well now, Joe, is that I'm just going to bring in, now I would prefer, and in fact, I'm just going to double check because I normally do keep a little cotton cloth in my bag, so I'm just checking. I probably haven't. I've probably not remembered to put them in.
Pamela Evans says she always over waxes, so she's really happy that you've showed her that technique.
Yes, and that's so easy to do, Joe, but that really is. A lot of, I know Sarah, she tends to dip her finger in and put it on the mat, so and then takes it from the mat. But I just think that's the same as wiping it on the edge of the jar, so don't get mess anywhere else. And then what I would do is just give that a buff.
Right.
So I would use, now this is quite a good kitchen towel, so it's not going to flake, but some kitchen towels get little bits off when you sort of rub them. So it's sometimes best just to use a little cloth. Now as you buff this up, you probably can't, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but when I hold it to the light, you will be able to see how absolutely gorgeous the shine is on this. Now if I hold it up, look at this shine.
Beautiful.
You really
Looks like
do.
metal, doesn't it?
It is like metal. And I don't know if you know the story behind gilding wax either, Joe, but the gilding wax was originally made for furniture, so for wood. So people would put it onto their wood and wax. You know, you get these really old mirrors on the metals, on the woods. They would blend that in. Now, the reason we buff it is because now I've got a clean hand here, so I'm not using the hand that I've used. I can rub my hand over that and not get any transfer. Now. So once that's buffed in, that's there for good. You cannot, so it just takes all that residue off, but it also gives you that ultimate shine. So this is the card that you're getting in the pack and one of the folders. And just while we've got this pack out, I'm going to bring in now the cut and emboss folder. Now I have to tell you, for me, it blows my mind, the technology of this. To be able to have die cuts and embossing that's at a lower level really does blow my mind. I think the technology and Leanne's team to do these has been absolutely amazing. So what I am going to do, the great thing with cut and emboss folders, I'm going to bring in my scoreboard. So we do have the Scoremaster on the show. I'm just going to grab myself a burnishing tool. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to, I know that my folder is a 5 by 7, so I'm going to score at 5 inches there.
Awesome.
And then we're going to fold that over. So what's amazing about these is you can make your own card blanks and very quickly. So I'm just going to cut this card to size, Joe.
Awesome. So Pamela's, yes, she's going to give it a go, she's saying. Jennifer also says, I remember seeing a show where someone put the gilding wax on the glass mat, then applied it. That's what I tried. There you are. That's Sarah's chosen technique. Christine Mahoney saying, good morning, watching halfway, then I have to go to work. Oh, ruining your fun, Christine, isn't it, work? Mary says, gorgeous, and Pamela says, the cut and embossing folders are my new favourite way to craft.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's great about these ones, and actually any embossing folder, but because we have that cut in detail, we can use this. And if you're wondering, this pink, gorgeous Centura Centura cardstock, and it is double-sided as well, your folder will go straight into the top of this. So if you want quick crafting and look like an absolute boss when you first do your embossing, these are the ones for you, which are amazing. amazing. So just put it straight into your card there. I'm going to switch out my plates. And what I do use, I definitely use with this, is my 2 cutting plates, so top and bottom, and your metal shim as well. And that just gives you that extra layer to have that embossing and that cut-in detail at the same time. So we're going to run those through our Gemini. The great thing is with the Gemini, it's an electronic die cutting machine. It does all that hard work for you, so you haven't got to worry about hand cranking or the time that it takes, because it's really quick crafting. To me, embossing folders are very underused because they're good for making your card blanks, they're good for your backgrounds, they're good for so many different things. So if we pop our plates to the side.
What sort of paper weight would you always sort of aim for when you're embossing, Debbie? Because I'm guessing anything too thin, will it tear with a 3D embossing folder?
But saying that, Joe, we can emboss things such as vellum, which is quite thin, so we are able to do that as well. But look at the level of embossing on here. I mean, that is incredible. You've then got these die-cut butterfly elements, and then we've got that beautiful card blank. So if I fold that in half, look, and in fact, let's just cut ourselves, I've got a piece of card here just to use on the inside, and then we can see just how beautiful that is. And it's such a gorgeous design.
Beautiful.
All you need is a stamp inside there, and honestly, you could not get better, quicker crafting than using the cut and emboss folders. And there we go. So really quick, and that's all in that first set that we've got. Oh, it matches me, Joe. Look, that wasn't deliberate.
You are very matching today, aren't you?
It wasn't deliberate at all, but that cardstock is in that bundle, which is incredible. And you could use your gilding wax on there as well. So,
absolutely. And remember what you're getting in there, 3 different sets of cardstock for you, all Centura pearls. You've got the pink, the white with a hint of, and you've got the black in there. 4 embossing folders for you, and also the gilding wax in there as well, which is brilliant value for money. Because the gilding wax on its own is worth £12, so it's fantastic to get all of that in there. Now, I've got a spring sale item on the show for you. Now, the spring sale is happening over on our website at the moment. Do make sure you go and check it out, because we're adding brand new items every single day. I want to take you through what you're going to get in this particular collection. It is a brilliant deal. Look, £40 down to £19. In the US, you can see that almost $54 comes down to $26. You're saving more than you're spending even before you get your Club Inspired discount. So you've got that beautiful rose one there. We've then got the diamond trellis in there for you as well. This one here is from your Best of British. I love these little beach huts that we've got in there. You've got Rick Rack, which is awesome, lovely sort of geometric style. Also got the Crafty Notions, which is again from our Sarah Signature collection. 30% of this is gone, by the way. Another one here from the Best of British for you, that postcard, which is going to be awesome for so many different things. Anything sort of travel related or inspired, I think you're going to love using that. And finally, you've got the decorative rose frame in here. That is a cut and emboss folder, again, £19 or $26. Now, viewers in the US, you should you might want to check the website tomorrow in the US for quite a big sort of sale, big sale. Something to do with like the name of it's like where we store all the products. That's all I'm allowed to say. I'm not allowed to say much more. I don't even know what time it goes live. They've been trying to keep it from me, but I said, no, I'm not going to keep it from you. So I'm terrible at keeping secrets, and that's where you really benefit from that. Loads of you loving the show thus far. Corrine saying, embossing and die cutting in one step. Genius. Gilmore saying, I need to get Caring Thoughts collection. I keep missing it when they put it in a collection. I'm sure it will be back very, very soon. Now we've got a fantastic Scoremaster bundle for you, which is going to be excellent to use with your embossing techniques. What you're going to get in here is you're going to get the Scoremaster, which is brilliant. It's wonderful for making your boxes too. Over 60% of this is gone, and you're going to get the Envelobox Creator as well. So great for all of your scoring card blanks, doing things like your boxes, your construction, your card concepts, and then the Envelobox Creator to make all of those awkward size envelope boxes for you. A brilliant deal on that, £19 or $19 wherever you are shopping, which is awesome. And what we've also got, now the collection has sold out. We have a bigger collection. We have managed to get you 4 of these back individually at a great price though. Any 2 of these for £16 or $20 $20, which is a brilliant way to go. Now what these are is an embossing folder, which is brilliant, as you can see just here. So all of that lovely emboss on there, but then we also give you 2 stencils as well, so it really adds to the depth and the dimension of your projects. The next one that you've got in here is the lilies. Again, exactly the same concept for you there. You've also got the poppies, which are these ones here. They are absolutely gorgeous. And you can see that these can be coloured up in a whole host of different ways too. And then you've got the hummingbird in here as well. All of those $9.99 or $12.95. The hummingbird is actually limited stock, so you will need to be quick with that one, which is awesome. Do not miss out on those. And I believe, Debbie, these stencils and embossing folders are what we're focusing on next. I think, is this the first time we've ever done stencils and embossing folders together, this collection?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And what an ingenious idea, because when you look at embossing folders and you look at this type of element, including the background here, you'd think, how do you get that, and how do you get that look from an embossing folder? So it's all very easy for me to sit here and say you would colour this in, and you could, absolutely. But to get that precision, that crispness around the edges of here, and that gorgeous sort of two-tone effect of it, if I bring in another one here of that gorgeous roses, which just looks amazing. You can get this because you're not only embossing, you're also creating a beautiful stencil. You might want to create something really grungy. I mean, I absolutely adore this card, looks beautiful, but then done in craft card looks totally different. Then we've got our really gorgeous dandelion clocks here. I mean, that is just exquisite. So different ones here. So, and what I love about embossing is you can use so many different things for your backgrounds, to use for your stenciling, lots of different ways. I absolutely adore the poppy one, so beautiful. We're going to start off with the hummingbird. Yes, like I say, there's not many of them in, but I'm going to show you exactly how we can create a beautiful background, how we can then do that gorgeous embossing on top, and then stenciling, because it really accentuates the whatever you've got on your embossing there. So first of all, what we're going to do, I'm going to bring in my ink pads. I thought I just had them to hand. I must have put them back. So I'm going to use...
Are these your favourite ones?
No. I'm using different ones actually, Joe. It's not like me, is it?
Not like you at all.
But I do love lemon tonic, and I'm going to use Ocean. Now, I did use Ocean Blue on my the pre one that I done, but that's fine. It's just that I couldn't find the Ocean Blue. So, but we've got the Ocean and we've got the lemon tonic. Now, these ones are our water reactive, but I'm also then going to be using our pigment inks, and we're going to be doing a little bit of heat embossing as well.
Oh, you know how I feel about heat embossing, Debbie.
I know, me too. It's magic, isn't it, every single time. So let me just find my daubers, and then I'm using the round ones, and I'm going to just take off this dark one here.
I think everyone's kind of got, I thought I was being a bit subtle in by my, signposting of what could be happening this week. It appears that everyone's sort of got it, judging by the comments, Debbie. I'm not allowed to say, but if you guys want to say, then that's fine.
Oh, I don't even know.
Oh, there you go.
What's the whispers?
I can't tell you, I'm afraid.
Oh, well,
I'd have to kill you.
You have to kill me, yeah. Oh, it's all hush-hush round here,
isn't it?
Yeah. Tell me after.
I'll tell you after the show.
Thank you.
Just check the comments, honestly. It's all going on.
Oh, they know.
They're
very savvy, aren't they?
They really are. That lemon tonic is such a gorgeous yellow, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? So when you then mix your lemon tonic, obviously with a blue, or I'm using this beautiful Ocean, you're going to get that gorgeous ombre effect of creating a green. I mean, look at that.
Nice.
I mean, they blend so beautifully. But then if we just go round with our ink around the edges, we can just really create that gorgeous background. It's why I love to have all different mediums, and it's always why I say that there's a different use for all of our ink pads, because I'm actually using our water reactive ones here, and then I'm going to use our pigment ink pads to actually go through the stencil, and that will allow us then to do some heat embossing.
Nice. Getting very busy on both that starter collection and also these embossing folders and stencils. Lots of you loving those. Who's chatting away here? Art or Life Tea saying amazing. Yvonne says, I hope Debbie is feeling better. She'd have a few days off.
I did. I was very poorly, wasn't I?
I had the curse, didn't I?
Yes.
I had Debbie Fisher was poorly, and I had Debbie Robinson was poorly, and then Sarah lost her voice all in the same week. I know.
Yeah, we went down like flies, didn't we? We were dropping like flies. We were being swatted everywhere.
You're feeling good, Debbie. You're looking fabulous, may I say.
Oh, that's just my spray tan, Joe. So that's our first bit done. I'm absolutely fine. And I'm sorry, I've never even spoke about it. It was just that I got sort of took off air because I ended up with a kidney infection.
Oh,
so it was
nightmare.
very painful, but I'm all good now. Everything is all working and back to normal.
All tickety-boo.
So, all tickety-boo, yes. Right, so Joe, we've got our background. What I am going to do on that background as well, and again, I'm hoping I've popped it somewhere. My bag is a bit of a mess at the moment.
Oh no.
And it's, you know what, you get to a stage where you just keep putting everything in and it's just getting a bit too full and too much stuff in there.
I did think when you brought it in from the car earlier, what state of that bag?
So what I am trying to find, I know I've definitely got it somewhere, is my, there might even be one under here.
What are you after?
I'm after a anti-static bag.
Oh, good luck finding one of those in here.
Yeah, I definitely had one, but never mind. And the only reason being is if you rub an anti-static bag over the top of this, then it will stop any embossing powder going over the top. But actually, I don't really need to worry about it. So we do have a finished one. So now we're going, this is the first time now we've gone to our 3D embossing folders. Our 3D embossing folders are thicker. It means you need a different platform variation to what you do a 2D embossing folder. Now, when you open these up, when you feel the top of them, one dips down. So this one I can feel dips down. Now, the one that dips down is the one that always goes on the top, because the one that's raised, all this area is raised, is going to push up through this one. Now, I say that because if I was to put this on that way, I would get a deboss. So when you want your embossing, make sure that your raised surface is where this goes down. And that makes sense because then you're pushing that embossed detail up. So we're going to pop this into here, and you can see why I've done this colouring. So it really highlights our beautiful bird. And then when we come to doing our stenciling, it's just going to look amazing. So let me just switch out my different plates.
Marianne says, I'm spending today and maybe the next week making several 6x6 cards with the statement butterfly die and the beautiful butterflies accompanying lace dies, as well as the beautiful butterflies paper pad to donate to sell to fundraise at my local library's Friend of the Library used book sale, and I'm really enjoying myself. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself and raising some money for a great causes at the same time. Gilmore says, chatter about a new Nature's Garden collection in the comments. You guys are going to get me in so much trouble today, honestly. But lots of love for that particular technique there as well. Tammy is like, Tammy, where have you been? It's 27 minutes past. She says, sorry, I was late, but better late than never. Absolutely. And remember, you can go back and watch any of our shows back at any time you like as well. Just pop back over on the website and they're all there for you to keep going, which is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I can be really naughty and tell you about the Nature's Garden, because Sarah's doing the launch show in the morning on Create and Craft, and then I'll be doing it in the afternoon on Create and Craft. Yes, so in its beautiful collection. So 3D embossing, we need our plastic shim and then our magnetic shim, then your folder, and then your top plate. It's the only time that we tell you not to use your cutting plate top and bottom. But because this is a tough one as well, it's absolutely fine to go through your Gemini. So we're going to offer that into the Gemini. That's going to take it through. I'm using my Gemini Junior plates because that's then quicker. It takes 8 seconds to actually go through the machine. And then we get to the good part of being able to get creative. So we're going to open this up. Now, because we've used, I mean, even though, I mean, you can see that looks absolutely stunning, but there's so much more we can do with it because we have these gorgeous stencils. Now, if anyone gets confused of what stencil to use first, the best way to always know is you use the one with the most gap in it. So this one has the most space, this one has the least space. So this one is the one you're going to start off with. Now, you could give them a spray at the back, which will hold them down. I'm not going to, I'm just going to use them as they are. Now, because you've embossed, which is always the best way to do it first, is emboss first, you can see exactly where you put this because it almost just sticks to the gaps. And then it gives you this gorgeous finish here. Now I'm going to bring in two colours. We're switching now to our pigment ink pads, and I'm going to use our crushed velvet and our plum jam. We do have amazing offers on these at the moment, so probably in different colours.
Yes, there is a brilliant 13-piece collection over on the website, and it's got 50 bonus points with it as well,
wow,
which is brilliant. So definitely snap. I'll run you through those colours in a little while actually.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what I'm doing to start with, now because I'm using pigment ink pads, these will layer up over the top. Can you see it's completely covering the, and I'm using my daubers because it means I can really get into that small detail and completely layer over the colours that I've already done with my ink pads. Because they're opaque, it means that all the colours will layer over each other. Unless obviously you've got a really light colour, but it will still give you a layer over the top. So I'm just dabbing this in gently because I haven't stuck them down. So just keep using your daubers. Have we got the daubers in stock? Because
I'm not sure. I haven't seen them actually. Erin's going to have a little check for you. Erin and George in the gallery today, and she's going to have a little check for you, which is awesome. Pamela says, "Lol, we love you, Joe. We're just super sleuths, obviously." Tammy says, "Thank you for understanding, Joe." Understanding what I don't know, but I'm always here, and I'm an understanding kind of guy, I like to think. Joe, we do not like reruns. We like to be live, man. It is so much fun. Well, that's me told, isn't it?
That is you told, Joe, yes. Yeah, no, I agree. It's really nice to have a live show, isn't it? So again, just
Daubers
pop in
sold out. I'm sure we'll get them back in stock as quickly as we can.
Absolutely.
They do come in and out of stock all the time, don't they? They come in, sell out again, come back in, sell out again.
Yeah, they do. They go so quickly because they're so handy, Joe, and especially if you're using these type of stencils. So I'm just taking the blue. And the ink pads, I mean, you can see, I mean, look how gorgeous they are layered up over the top. And they're not mixing that colour. We're still keeping that gorgeous blue, even though we've got yellow underneath. So that's that bit there. Now I'm going to switch out for my greens. So let's use our green over the top. Just take my daubers off there.
Katie's talking, a comment from Katie, but just to be clear, you get in here the embossing folder and then the two stencils. So you've not used, you haven't used the stencil to emboss, which is something that can be done with some stencils, isn't it, Debbie?
You could still do that, yes, but stencils would not give you the deep embossing that you get on a normal embossing folder. Awesome. That's just like another thing that you can do with them. And actually, when you look at it, Joe, that's an amazing price when you're getting two stencils and an embossing folder.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, really incredible.
I mean, you could pay that just for the embossing folder.
Well, I was just going to say that. I don't think you're even really paying for your stencils, are you?
No, not at all. And also, I think it gives you a really different look and feel because obviously you're adding that ink, just accenting and highlighting certain areas. I don't think there's any other way really of doing this. I mean, you could, I don't know, maybe you could paint over the top of it and accent certain areas, but you're not going to get this kind of result. And then obviously you're never going to get the option to then heat emboss that as well. So it is going to create something truly, truly unique.
Yeah, totally. And it's just, this is where you can get really creative with your embossing folders because you have that stencil. I mean, you can do it with normal embossing folders, so as we'll see as we go through the show, but when you've got an actual stencil, I just think this is a brilliant idea because it really does just make you feel really crafty and you get such professional finishes.
Absolutely, you do. Loads of people loving this. For Holiday says, what type of ink is Debbie using? Debbie used the water reactives for the background and is now using the pigment inks over the top. I actually didn't know that you could layer them up like that. I didn't realise you could use water reactives and then a pigment over the top.
Yeah, absolutely, especially when you want to emboss, because if you heat emboss, if you use the pigments underneath, it will just heat emboss the whole thing.
Yes,
where this way it would just really highlight and bring that to the surface. Right, so you can see that on there. Now when I pull this away, look at that. I mean, how incredibly pretty is that, and so simple to use your yellow in the background there so it looks like that bird is going through the sun. I mean, how absolutely gorgeous is that? Brilliant. Then we're going to bring this one over the top, and again it'll find its place. But this time you've got that smaller amount, so when you go back in, so this time I'm going to switch out, instead of using orange, I'm going to use red. So we can actually, the actual wrapper hasn't been took off for this one. I thought it was...
box fresh.
I think it must be a new one. I don't think it is, Joe. I just think it's been being used with that on the top. Right, so let's take that one off, use our red here, and then I'm going to do my bird at the same time. And instead of the purple, I'm then going to bring in my plum jam, which is quite a dark colour. And let's switch that over for the plum jam one. This is what I love about the daubers, and I am sorry they're not in stock, but if you've got them, you'll be able to use them on there.
Awesome. Linda says, when using the daubers, can you change from water reactive to opaque, or do you need to wash them? Would you have a separate
absolutely
set?
not. No, I would just use the same ones.
Okay.
What I would say is use a scrap piece of card and just keep dabbing onto there till most of the colour will come off.
Fantastic. Top tip there.
So then what we're going to do is we're going to go in with the red, and that will really give us gorgeous definition on there.
Catherine Meyer says, are the ink pads new colours? We don't do new ink pad colours really. We have a core range of colours which we try and keep in stock all the time, which covers the whole spectrum really. So no, we don't really tend to bring new ones out. We've got kind of got everything you need in the colours we already carry really, Debbie, don't you?
Oh, totally. And you can mix them. So if you really wanted to mix your colours, you want to go for the Harmony Water Reactive. And what you can do, you can paint with those as well. So if you mix them onto your glass mat, you can create your own bespoke colours. So then I'm going to go in with these. And what you'll also find with all our ink pads is, saying that, Joe, we do, and I don't think they're in stock, but we do tend to sometimes at Christmas bring out some Christmas colours.
Right.
So there are a few on the sort of that we've had in the past where we've had different colours. We had a contemporary set of colours for the pigment ink pads. Not the pigment, the water reactive.
Okay.
And then last one, all we're going to do is that blue. So we're going to do a darker blue now, and I'm bringing in one of my absolute faves is the parakeet. And then we'll do that onto our beautiful hummingbird.
Everyone loves a parakeet. It's the parakeet, the lemon tonic and the fuchsia together seems to be the winning trio.
Totally, they're amazing colours together. Right, so we're going to take this one off, and then look at that.
Oh my.
I mean, honestly, you could not get that from not having your stencil with it as well. Absolutely beautiful.
I love how they slightly blend as well. They're not blended, but ever so slightly, they kind of just sort of mush together a little bit, don't they?
Oh, so much so. Yep, so much so, Joe. You are right. And there's so much you can do with them. So they do all have a place, but we can make that even better, because what we are going to do now, I've just got some clear embossing powder. I'm going to grab myself a piece of card just so we can get that on there. We're going to do some heat embossing. Now, because we're using the pigment ink pad, it means that it dries slower. So this will still be wet. So when we apply our powder over the top, it will actually stick to all that area that we've used our pigment ink pad on. Just tap that away. And then I'm going to pop this into my tub, otherwise I'll knock it over because I know what I'm like. And there we go. So you can buy all sorts of clear embossing powder. So it looks like we've sort of put a little bit of a dullness on there, but when I start heat embossing, we're going to see a real change, and we're going to get that beautiful shine. And if you was to triple emboss,
Triple emboss, eh? Showing off now.
Oh yeah, definitely. So triple emboss. We've got lots of demos to get through, so we won't do it today. But it will. All you do is once you've heated this, you then reapply your powder, your embossing powder, and then you do that 3 times, and then you get the most amazing shine, and you also don't get any sort of mottling. It evens everything out, so it's completely smooth.
Brilliant.
So
Loads of love for this in the comments. Kathy saying absolutely beautiful. June says I must get some ink on my daubers. This is stunning. Jennifer says it's absolutely wonderful. Jennifer wants to know if anyone's had a good way to store the daubers with the ink pads. I am so keen to know. Not these finger daubers, but the other ones, the round ones. Some people use a little bit of hook and eye, don't they, just to stick them on the underside. So you can actually stick them back on there if you want to. It's a great way to do it.
Absolutely.
There's space underneath in the recess.
So look at that now, Joe. We have that beautiful shiny bird. I mean, honestly, that is so lovely. So if we show it to the front there, you'll be able to see
really beautiful.
Such a gorgeous image there. So if I just bring in my card here, I didn't actually heat emboss this one. So I wanted you to see the 2 differences. But look how much that really does pop when you heat emboss that to just using it as a normal one. Really pretty designs.
Brilliant. And there's 4 of these available for you. So, you know, imagine playing around. Imagine playing around with the roses, for instance. You're going to be able to colour those up in loads of different ways. You've also got the lilies available in here for you too. And you've got the poppies in there as well. Of course, all of those can be coloured up in lots of different ways, which is fantastic. So you've got those. Let me also bring in the ink pads. We talked about having these on the show. So you've got Bordeaux, which is this one just here. You've then also got in here the crushed velvet, which is fantastic. You've got grasshopper in there. You've also got honey pot, the lagoon. Oh, that gorgeous lemon tonic that we just spoke about is in there. The midnight's in there. Midnight. Oasis, Midnight at the Oasis. See what I did there? No? Okay. Orange is in there too. The parakeet's in there, so you could do exactly what Debbie's just done there with those 2 colours. You've then got the pine tree, the pink tulip, and you've got the spring meadow in there for you too, which is absolutely awesome. Do grab those. Right, I also want to share with you some 3D embossing folders. We did say we'd come on to some of these. These are awesome. These are a very recent launch actually, and they were exceptionally popular when they launched. I love them because they're quite varied. So in here what you've got is first you've got the gossamer lace, all of this beautiful detailing. 3D, it's totally 3-dimensional, so you've got lots of different layers to that embossing. This is my favourite one though, the lavish leopard print. I think it is absolutely stunning. You've then got here the vintage scroll, which is like a kind of really lovely paisley. It's got a bit of sort of French chateau vibe about it, hasn't it? This one here is your peony bouquet. You've also got climbing ivy in here, and you've got the grande butterfly as well, which is awesome. You can get any 2 of these for £12 or $16 if you prefer to get them like that. The best way, of course, to get the best value is, as always, to go for that larger collection. The peony and the gossamer lace are only available in the big collection for you. So if you want those 2, you will need to go for the whole collection. Loads of you still chatting away. Hook and loop. Hook and eye is something totally different. What's hook and eye then, Anne? I don't know. Hook and loop, that's what I meant. Gail said that looks like card of the week to me. Oh, big talk there, Gail. And Jennifer says, is there a substitute for embossing powder? Good question.
The only other thing you could do is use something like a Mod Podge, or you could use, trying to think what it's called. Glossy accents, that's what it's called, glossy accents. And you can actually drop it on to parts of your images, but embossing powder just works really well, because as soon as you've put your pigment ink pads down, that just makes it look amazing. I'm just trying to get myself a little bit of kitchen towel so I've just washed my mat there to clear up my embossing powder. So yeah, you could use like a lacquer or glossy accents, and that would do that same shine for you. But I'm going to show show you, so Joe set us up for that beautiful butterfly one. So we're going to be using the Grande Butterfly. It is an absolutely gorgeous embossing folder. So when you're using Centura Pearl, I'm using this gorgeous turquoise colour. We're going to run that through. Again, check which side, because on our normal Centura, you've got just a white backing. So I'm just going to check where my raised side is. So this side is raised, so I know that will push up into my card. So we're going to pop that in the centre of our embossing folder. I'm going to bring in my mats, and again we need our plastic shim, our magnetic and our top plate, and we're going to place that between the two. Now this time we don't have stencils to use with the actual embossing folder, so I'm going to show you a really nice technique of being able to use your alcohol pens and go over the detail, and it works really well because they dry really quickly because they've got alcohol in them. It means that you can do them on Centura Pearl, where when you use normal inks on Centura Pearl, you would have to put something to set it on there because it would just wipe away, it wouldn't dry. But because it's alcohol pens, this is right in front of me, I'm going to bring in my tri-blend markers. So my first one I'm using is our our blue turquoise, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to go just straight over the top, so and just colour in that top piece in. It's just a really nice way. I mean, colouring in itself is very therapeutic, so a nice way to do that. Because of the detail that we've got into here, you can just use it like you normally would with your pens if you were colouring a stamped image. So we can just go in with that detail. And actually, I think I'm going to go in with a bit of a darker one because I think we can get away with using a darker one on that inside. I think you'll agree, it's just a really nice way of adding something extra. I'm keeping to that same sort of tone because it just really highlights that beautiful colour that we've already got on there. And because we're following embossed lines, it's really easy to colour. In fact, probably easier than what it is to colour a stamped image sometimes because you're guided by that embossing. So I'm just going to go over the top here, because I've done it in the lighter colour just to highlight that. Once that starts to dry, that will all start to blend in beautifully. And then I'm just going to go round where it's got that embossed detail on here. Now you could do this, I'm using an alcohol pen, but you could use your glitters. So you could use your fine tip bottle with your tacky glue in there, and go round and do some gluing and embossing. So going all around the edges. I do have a finished one, so I won't do all of it, otherwise you'll just be sitting watching me colouring an embossed image. And I still want to show you so many different techniques. If there is anything that you've tried or you'd like to see tried, if we've got it, I'm happy to run anything through. If you've got any questions, then please let us know. It'd be nice to hear from you, which will be good. So just colour in, I'll just do this one side. And then what I've also done is the centre piece. When I said about gluing, if you run your glue down that centre part and glitter it, you'll get a beautiful glittered centre. So that's part of our butterfly. We've then got some of our, so we could use our purple on there. So I'm just going to, again, you can blend this in. If I add this one. So we've someone has sent in a question or saying, Crafty AJ, you're telling us that spray and shine is a brilliant alternative. Yes, it's that's a good call. So spray and shine will give you a glitter effect, but it will add that extra coating, shiny coating to your embossing instead of embossing powder. So you can see, I mean, look at the highlight on that. It's really such a different and so easy to do. You don't need to be precise. You don't need to be an expert colorist. You will be able to just colour straight onto that embossing because you're guided by that every step of the way. And even using this green. And what it does do, because you're going straight onto a shiny surface, it also makes your pen shiny. So it's a really cool way of just accentuating those beautiful embossed lines. And the great thing with embossing is it's very forgiving. So beautiful there. And then I'm just going to bring in my finished one. So you can see by finishing it off, adding some glitter into the centre, if I give that sort of a wiggle, you've still got all that beautiful shine, but we've really highlighted that in a totally different way to using our stencils. And then we're just going to matte and layer those to make a really pretty card. And this is what I love about embossing folders, the fact that you don't need a lot else. You can just use your embossing folders to be the focal point of your card and it will look incredible. And I forgot to bring some, but I was trying out the other day some different mediums to emboss onto, and I can't believe that I forgot it. But you can actually buy cardstock. I don't even know what it was called, but do you know where you used to get, it's black and you scratch it so to make patterns. It's like foiled and you just use either a pin or, yeah, and it's got rainbow underneath. It's great for embossing because when it cracks, the embossing cracks it and then it shows underneath, which is brilliant. I just loved that idea. So yeah, if anyone can think what that's called, it's the black sort of foiling with the foiled rainbows underneath. And that's a great one for embossing. So I'm just matte and layering this onto my card. And I'm not going to do anything else to that because I think that looks absolutely beautiful. And there we go.
So pretty, isn't it?
Yeah, really pretty, Joe. And just a completely different way to use your Centura Pearl and your alcohol pens.
Brilliant. Let me just run you back through what you can get. Remember, there's a couple of these. The only way to get them is actually in this big collection. So this one here, the Gossamer Lace, that's the only way you can get it. We've also got coming in there the Lavish Leopard Print, which I just think is gorgeous and so fun, so different to anything else. This one here is your Vintage Scroll, which is beautiful. You've then got the Peony Bouquet. So the only way to get this is in this collection, as well as the Climbing Ivy, and you've also got the Grande Butterfly there as well. £32, that's a brilliant price to get all those, or $46. I can see a lot of you have very full baskets. Just got over another hour still left on this craft class. What I'm going to do is give you an opportunity to check out your baskets. Whilst you do that, I'm going to share with you all the details of Club Inspire.
Welcome to Club Inspire, our free loyalty club. As a member of the club, you can save up to 20% every time you shop with us. For every £1 you spend, whether it's in one of our stores or on our website, you'll collect 1 loyalty point. The more points you have, the more benefits you'll receive. As a welcome present, we'll give you 20% discount with your very first order. Once you place your first order, you'll be given 250 points straight away, making you a bronze member. This will mean that you'll receive a 5% discount on all of your purchases until the end of the next calendar year, plus priority postage. 500 points takes you up to Silver membership, where you'll get 10% discount plus free shipping when you spend over £20. When you get to 750 points, you'll become a Gold member, which gets you a whopping 15% discount on every order, and we'll ship them to you completely free, no matter how big or small they are. Spend over £25 and we'll send them to you via our premium next day delivery courier service. When you reach 1500 points, you'll become a Platinum member, giving you the same shipping benefits as a Gold member, but with the added bonus of a massive 20% discount on all of your purchases. Now on top of that, you'll receive exclusive discounts, sneak peeks of brand new products, special offers and money saving vouchers. You'll have access to an exclusive secret Facebook group to meet like-minded friends, to find out information first and to be inspired by all the craft he makes. Become a member of our club today.
We believe we found out what it's called. Scratchboard, Debbie, is
Exactly what it is. Yes,
Brilliant.
scratchboard. Yes,
I don't know what it
remember
is. I'm
now.
going to have to look it up. I've not heard of that before.
You must have done, when you were a kid, didn't you buy sets and it had a pattern on the front and you'd scrape the pattern away to reveal the metal underneath? No?
Doesn't ring a bell, no.
Oh yeah, and it was scratchboard kit, so it was amazing. But you can just buy a scratchboard now and you can emboss it and you can either sand it back a bit and it will reflect that rainbow mirror card.
I'm going to have to look that up. Pam says parchment and vellum works as well, Debbie. The folder pushes the pattern out in white. Panda says they would be lovely to batch make. Put a simple sentiment on, put a few in a little box and you're done. Jill says it was foil art, but never seen the card separately without a design printed on it.
Yeah, you can.
There we are.
It's scratch card. It is called scratch card that you can buy. So if you Google that, you'll be able to buy it in packs.
Awesome.
But it was foil art. You're right. That's what it was. Foil art.
Awesome.
Foil
Right.
art.
We are going to move on to some awesome cut and emboss dies. These are great because they all leave you with an aperture, which is fantastic. So it just gives you lots of opportunities really to craft with or to frame something, if you will. So the first one you've got here is candy cane, which is that one there. You've also got this one here, which is floral frame. Loving that. Then you've got as well open window in here too. Then we've got sunburst. Love that. It, I don't know why, it reminds me of sort of slightly Japanese-esque, I don't know why. I'm seeing like, what are they called? The big guys that do the fighting? Sumo wrestlers. I don't know why. Sumo wrestlers and koi carp. That's what it's giving me vibes of.
And I was actually thinking more of like the ribbons, you know, they have the ribbons on a stick and stuff like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it reminds me of that as well.
Very
yeah.
oriental, I do like it. And then this one here, which is my favourite one, which is the ones with the gorgeous bumblebees on there, as you can see, which is Be Happy. You get all of those in that collection. £48 or $56 is your price on those ones. Now, Debbie, I'm really intrigued to see what you're going to do with these. Which one are you going to demo for us?
So the open window I'm going to use. I adore this one. I think it really lends itself, especially if you've got a new home or you just want that beautiful window view, you want to make your own little flower box out the top. I adore this because the window's open and you've got that gorgeous brickwork. So I'm going to bring in one of our Midas ink pads. I'm not sure if they're back in stock, so apologies if they're not, because I know they sell out time and time again. But I'm going to use the gold one. Now this time we're going to do it slightly different. Normally we would, oh in fact no, I am going to do that way. We're going to put it onto the front of our folder. I don't need to worry too much about this. What I'm going to do is just slightly, can you see, I'm just going round this detail, just really lightly, because I'm not worried about having too much detail. By rubbing it, it seems to sort of transfer the ink more onto there. But what this is what we class as a letterpress technique. Now, I'm not worried about it going through a little bit because it will transfer to the bricks underneath, but it will just give a nice sort of feel around the actual brickwork. And we can also heat emboss this because it is a wet ink. So just tap in a bit more onto here.
Do we need to worry about this sort of discolouring or staying in the embossing folder at all, Debbie?
Now, it's a really good question, Joe, because if you was to use an ink pad such as maybe the purple, so the crushed velvet, even the fuchsia, you might find, I'm just using some double-sided Centura, so this is just our cream cardstock. What you will find, they might stain your folder. This won't, this will just wash off. You'll know the ones that, that I mean, that will sort of stain them, but it won't actually harm them, and it won't make you know, their usability, and it won't transfer onto anything else. It just means that you'll have a pretty coloured embossing folder. Nice. So yeah, so never worry about that. So what I am going to do is switch my folders again. Because we've got a cut and emboss folder, I'm using my base cutting mat, I'm using my metal plate, then my folder, and then my top plate. I am just going to wipe away this on here so it doesn't transfer onto anything else. And then we're going to run that through our Gemini.
Brilliant. Loads of you chatting away. Who we got chatting in here? Becca Cross is just saying last night I need to find embossing folder techniques to try, and here you are, all of a sudden giving us loads of things that we can do. Jennifer's loving the bees. Linda says she'd put a little kitty in that window as well that you're crafting there.
Oh, that's a lovely idea. Yeah, really lovely idea. So let's pop them out of the way. Take this off here. Now, you won't be able to see a lot of it because it's got the, but how fabulous is that? Almost
Beautiful.
looks like sort of old brickwork, doesn't it? So we've got on there. So we could heat emboss that, but I'm just going to leave it as it is. And then these windows here, if I just fold them, there's a score line down here, so all you need to do is fold that back, and then on the other side you just fold that score line back, and then you've got completely, I mean, how fabulous is that? You've got those complete folded windows. So I'm going to stick that onto some beautiful grey cardstock here. So I'm just going to use my tape pen to pop that down. Tape pens are great for using on your embossing folders because they grab sort of the parts that need to be stuck, so and the parts underneath with your deboss. So popping that on there. Oh, before I do that, I've got a piece of card for the background, so I thought we'd have some nice funky wallpaper going on in the centre. So, oh, it's double-sided.
Funky wallpaper.
Funky
I love it.
wallpaper.
A castle, a 70s inspired castle is basically what you're crafting for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's pop this in here. And that's what you've got at your fingertips with embossing. You can use all your scrap pieces of card or your pretty papers. Who is our lovely crafter that has all our paper pads?
Christine Mahoney?
Yes, Christine. You have like a million paper pads. They would look great on this. So I'm just going to use just to rub this down because we've got our ink on there.
Pam Montenegro says she's got 3D folders that she hasn't even used yet. She needs to get them out. Well, this is the day, Pam.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking it's Sunday, so definitely time to crack them out, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're right on the end of my tape pen. When you get to the silver, look, that's when you know you're at the end.
The very end.
So I haven't got another one to hand. I'm sure I must have one.
Do you want me
in
to get you
my
one?
bag. I've got a dotty one, so I can use that.
Shall I get you an
yes,
extra
if you
strong one?
wouldn't
I'll get you an
mind,
extra
that would
one.
be lovely.
I know where Tracy's secret stash
Oh,
is, you see.
Joe, you're the man to know. So popping that on. I've just used some craft card to put onto the base there. And then the paper pad is from one of our, I can't remember which paper pad, so I do apologise, but I've just used one of our swash stamps, so Happy New Home. So we're going to pop that onto the bottom, just to give that our gorgeous sentiment.
Maybe I'm not the man to know.
Oh, have they all been used?
Because no, I went out there. I went to Tracy's secret tape pen stash. She's moved them.
Oh, she knows you know.
She does. She is on to me. I'm rumbled.
That's funny. So I'm just going to find myself some 3D glue gel, and I've just cut these out from the paper pad so they match the actual design on the inside. So popping that into place. And I really adore that they are the main focal point to our, the actual embossing folder is the main focal point. And then I'm going to use a bow just to pop on the bottom there.
It looks very French now, doesn't it, with that paper?
Does a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah,
Oui.
Absolutely. There we go. And there we are. So our beautiful card, just looking very different in all those gorgeous sort of muted greys and beiges, and just with that hint of gorgeous Midas ink pad in the background.
Really, really lovely. Now let me take you back through what you're getting in this collection. So these are all cut and embossed folders, and they all give you that lovely aperture. So you've got the opportunity to craft something up to go in there. You've got the candy cane, you've also got the floral frame, the the open window, the sunburst, and you've got the Be Happy in there as well. £48 or $56 is your price there on those. I want to just give you a heads up on something else that's on the website. I love these because we don't normally see embossers in folders. They're usually in a 5x7. These are great because they're a 6x6, so they are square, which is awesome. So that wasn't me moving, by the way. These are a 6x6 square, which is awesome. So what you're going to receive in here, great for backgrounds, these, set in stone. You've also got the brick layers, you've got your spring forest, and also your trellis squares. These great, I reckon, for like, if you like to do larger cards like an 8x8 and you want to have these as a background with a few mats and layers, they would work really, really well for that. And they're not going to break the bank as well, $15.50 or $22 if you want to get your hands on them. Now, don't forget, loads coming up still, of course, here on Crafters TV. Myself and Debbie are going to be back with you a little bit later today for Second Chance Sunday at 7 p.m. here in the UK, 2 p.m. on the East Coast, 11 a.m. on the West Coast. Second Chance Sunday is your opportunity, basically, to see some of the best-selling, newest launches of all of our products here from Crafters TV, which is brilliant. So that'll be coming up for you then. And then tomorrow, what would normally be a wake-up call with Craig at noon is not. It's a wake-up call with Debbie, or What Am I Like Robinson. So that is sure to be some fun tomorrow. She'll be here with Ben, and that'll be at midday in the UK, 7 a.m. on the East Coast, 4 a.m. if you are across on the West Coast. So that is what's coming up, which is brilliant. Right, I want to share with you these everyday classic cut and emboss folders. You've got an amazing saving here, 60%. They should be, well, you're saving £49 or $54 on these. However, if you are a platinum member, you're going to get these for $24.80 or $28, which is a no-brainer really, because how much should they be each? Each they should be $12.99 or $14.99. So it's a brilliant, brilliant price for you. Let me run you through what you're getting. I love that they emboss all of that gorgeous embossing detail, but then they're also going to die cut your sentiments. You've got birthday, congrats, friend, home, love, and you're also going to get thanks in there too. You get all of them for that awesome price, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Don't miss out on these. Maybe you've thought about them for a while. This is like, you know, when it's like right time, right place. This is the deal for these. I've never seen them this low. I can't imagine them being this low at any time in the near future. So you've been thinking about them. Now is the time to grab a hold of these. Great for batch making these, I'm thinking, Debbie.
Yeah, these are great. So that first one I showed you at the beginning, where I cut it straight into a 5x7 card blank, you could literally make them all up like that, and then just as you're ready to give them out, you then just can ink them up, put whatever colours you want. You know, just, in fact, the demo we're going to use our sparkle ink pots on our background. So you could absolutely batch make these and get them done in no time whatsoever. So these are beautiful designs. They give you that gorgeous cutout detail. You can use them with whatever you, I mean, look how gorgeous that looks. So that's using them with our, again, Midas ink pads rubbed into the top there. Using your beautiful glitter cards behind, which look incredible. I adore this one. I mean, how much fun does that one look? Really lovely. The papers have just been designed to sort of cut around that embossed detail. That looks gorgeous. You've got the birthday one, so a nice splodge background with using them, and then just keeping it really simple and putting the letters back in, but it's standing out just a little bit more. So what we are going to do, we're going to use our oh, I've had them upside down because I give them a swirl. You might have heard them on my mic. So just giving them a swirl round. I'm actually using the pastels. So we've got our beautiful blues and pinks, and actually that one is not in this collection. Yeah, I've got the wrong one in here, which it doesn't matter, we'll just use these ones. On the one I use, you've got a purple, a blue, and a pink. So I think someone's just popped the wrong one back into this one, but you will get the correct ones when you have them. So popping these, opening these up. There we go. So I'm just popping them there. Now they do come, if I just bring this back in, they do come in this little plastic that you can pop them back into. It just keeps them nice and safe. Then what I'm going to do is bring in my card. I keep putting that out of vision, so let's bring it in so you can see it. I'm just going to take my brush here, and I'm also going to give my paper a little bit of a spray, Joe, just to wet it down a little bit. So. So yeah, we have these brushes on the website. This is just our largest flat brush. I'm not sure what size it is.
Is it a quarter inch, a half inch?
It could, it's 3/4.
3/4?
Yes, 3/4. So what we are going to do is going to do a washed background. So I'm going to dip my brush straight into my ink, let that soak up, and then we're just going to paint that across. I mean, how gorgeous is that colour? Absolutely
Really beautiful.
beautiful.
The thing is with these, I always think they don't look that sparkly until they dry, do they?
Oh, they
Debbie?
don't. No, not at all. They really do. The sparkle really comes out to them when they start to dry. Joe, you are right. So then I've just washed that, going into my pink,
That's so
and then
vibrant.
Slightly into my blue, because that's then going to create that gorgeous purple colour in the centre, and then washing that out again, and then we will use our other gorgeous colour. So making sure I take my wetness off my brush when I've washed it out, and we'll just put in, like I say, you will get a purple one, but actually this one is working very well. So just washing that across.
And the great thing is, if they're together in their 3 colours, you know that those colours are all going to blend seamlessly together, don't you? Which I always find is very, very helpful, especially if you're starting out. I'm terrible with colours and knowing which 2 primary colours make another colour, Debbie. I couldn't tell you.
Oh, really?
I mean, that's a surprise to me when you said, oh, I'm going to mix these 2 together, it's going to be purple. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, I was always quite good with colours. I remember from a young age learning about the colour wheel. My mum was very crafty, so she sort of taught us all about the colours and what colours blended together. And funny enough, I think it's just, if you're like that in your mind, because I teach my granddaughters that as well, so I tell her what colours to use and make a colour, and she'll always say to me, Nanny, how do I get a brown? And then you'll sort of say what colours you would mix together. So, well, actually, brown you can make with most colours.
Oh, okay. I'm mouthing to Debbie, how do you make brown?
But you would use reds and blues and
Reds and
purples.
blues.
So depending on what shades of browns that you want, you'll be able to do that. But your general colours, so like your, a blue and a green, a yellow and a blue will make green.
Okay.
So, and if you have a colour wheel, anyone can buy colour wheels anywhere, or they're on the internet, you will be able to see that what colours blend together. And there's all sorts of different colours. So we've created that background, but actually I want to do a little bit more to that, Joe. So I'm just going to dip my fingers into some water and just flick across. So this is a great technique because this is known as faux bleaching. So the longer you leave this, the more that will actually absorb the water, because what the water is doing is actually raising, it's sort of soaking up all that paint that we've just put down, and then if we just pop that across, you can see it sucks up then all the colours and then gives us a really beautiful background. And it's a gorgeous background to have for when you want to do your embossing, because it gives you a really different background and you will get a different look every single time. So I'm just putting my lids on because I know what I'm like, Joe. Pop those back on and we'll pop them to the side. Oh,
awesome.
There we go.
It was, Mary says, I just received the traditional Christmas sparklings and they were absolutely lovely, gorgeous. So thank you for that. Christine Mahoney says, Roy G. Biv Joe. What does that mean?
Roy G. Biv
Roy
Joe.
G. Biv Joe. Oh, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. I mean, it doesn't help me, but thanks all the same, Christine.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm sure they will explain.
There must be some method there to that.
All I've used is my bottom cutting plate, my metal shim and my top cutting plate, and we can run those through. So what's great about embossing, Joe, is literally how easy they are to do. Everything about embossing, from the platforms to what you can do with them to how they work, are super easy. You can then go on to different stages with tissue paper. You could
Okay.
emboss tissue paper, which would be amazing.
Is this watercolour card you've used here?
Yes, watercolour cards. So we've got all this here, and we've got our words. Now our words, I was hoping it would do that. They're all cut out beautifully, but I wanted them to stay. Now because my paper is not wet, but it's probably got a certain amount of moisture still in it, but even though it feels dry, if that makes sense. But it means that I would have to push these out. But actually I'm really pleased they're like that, because what I am going to do is I'm going to bring in some of my little foam pads, and we're going to put the foam pads on there while they're still in there. Not that it matters, but it's just easier to put them on when they're held in place.
Okay.
So again, my bag, I need to sort my bag out, Joe, because I did have a pair of tweezers, which will help me. Let me see if there's a pair of tweezers in another box. No.
Ah, I see. So Roy, red, orange, yellow. Red and yellow make orange. Biv,
okay.
blue, indigo and violet. But blue and violet makes indigo. Okay then. Okay, yeah, thank you. All right, that'll help. Now I know at least how to make orange and indigo. Well, the sky's the limit now, isn't it?
It certainly is, Joe. And actually, it's just fun, isn't it? Just to play around with colours and see what you come up with.
Absolutely, it really is. And the great thing is, of course, we've got all the colours that allow you to do that. But I think if you're not great with colour, then you know that the three colours that come together are going to make something awesome. How does everyone store their ink pots is what Aisha's asking. I guess you just store them as they are in the packaging.
Yep.
Quite simple. I guess you wouldn't store them in direct sunlight or anything like that, Debbie?
Not near a radiator. Yeah, not with too much heat. Yeah, so very easy to store, in fact.
Brilliant.
And if you're thinking of like where to store them, I would keep them in their boxes, because that would protect them, keep them in there, and keep them nice and safe.
Awesome.
So what we're going to do now, Joe, is I'm going to take these parts off. And actually, this is working quite well because our letters have all stayed intact.
So you're just going to stick it down in like that and then just take the other bit off?
Well, yeah, no, we're not even going to do that. So this is one way. If you want, I want my letters to stay in there, Steve.
Right.
But what I want to do is stick it down flat. So I'm going to use my tape pen. So this bit will go then to the card base. Yeah, we're not going to chuck it on the floor, I promise. So just doing these bits here so we don't stick none of the letters. And then I'm going to bring in some black card here. And I'm actually going to keep those letters intact and place onto here. And then what will happen is, where's my pokey tool? We're going to then make sure that these stand out.
Oh,
These
nice.
then create like a eclipse.
Yeah, that's a
eclipse
great way
card.
of doing it.
And there we go. So we'll take
So
them
it saves
out.
you having to sort of try and line them all up and get them all back in again.
Yeah, absolutely. So
It's like cheap paper piecing.
it's what, sorry?
It's like cheap paper piecing, isn't it?
Yeah, cheap paper piecing. I like that. Cheats. Yes. And it's not cheating if we're crafting,
No.
Joe. No, definitely not.
Just
There
smart.
we go.
Crafting smarter.
Yeah, that's it. So it's just finding all those different ways of being able to make things easier for ourselves. And there we go. So just a couple there that have gone a little bit wonky, but you can straighten them. And when you have more time, I've also done that one, you will put some more foam pads on the back. I just didn't want to be there putting loads of foam pads. And then just pop that onto our card blank. I don't know where my card blank's gone, but if I bring this one in, Joe, I've done this one slightly different. I took them out and laid them with a shadow.
Okay.
So you can see you're getting two completely different looks there, which look amazing. Now, can you see where I've done splodges? This card was wet when I done the splodges, so you get a bit more of a different effect. This one was dry, so it gives you quite a nice sort of dramatic effect on there. But both cards looking beautiful. And there we go.
Really, really beautiful. With regards then to those inks, Debbie, just quickly, so is it always watercolour cards you'd use those on? Could you put them on like stamping cards? card, what
So you
would
could
happen?
use them on stamping card. Our stamping card has a really good tooth, and when we say a tooth of a card, it means how much it would absorb into it.
Right.
So a good tooth for watercolour would be, your ideal is watercolour card, but if you do only have our stamping card, our white stamping card, it will work, but not as well. What it will do, it will absorb the water quicker than what our watercolour card does, but it does, you still get good effects with it.
Awesome. So if you want the best blend possible, then use the watercolour card. There are two, I'm just going to quickly share with you the sparklings that are on the show. Two different ones, which are these two just here. So there's two options. You've got perfect pastels, or you can go for traditional Christmas, which is just there on your screen. They are on a 3 for 2, which is awesome. Right. Let me recap for you. These are here, which is your everyday words, which are just fantastic. And the great thing is, as we say earlier, you know, if you're batch making, you just need to do very little to these once they're done. You can, a little bit of inking on there, maybe a bit of heat embossing, and you are good to go. So in here you've got the classic birthday. You've also got congrats, friend, home, love, and you've got a thanks in there too, which is awesome. £31 or $35. It's over 60% that you're saving, which is an absolutely brilliant deal. It's one of those deals. I know we've had these on a few times. I think if you've been waiting for the deal, then this is definitely it. So do grab those whilst we've got them. I want to go back to that starter collection where we started the show, because it is really busy here now, as I knew it would be actually, because you know, craft class is all about you guys learning something, maybe for the first time for a lot of you as well, and this is the perfect set if you are looking to get started with your embossing. So in here, you've got a really awesome collection, 3 different types of cardstock in here. So what you've got is, you have got your pink, you've also got your white with a hint of, and you've got the black Centura Pearl in there. Really beautiful quality cardstock, perfect weight to be embossed. You've then got your gilding wax in here, and then you've also got 3 different embossing folders, which I'm going to share with you again. So you've got that Rose Garden, which you saw the lovely Debbie demonstrate a little earlier today. So that one's coming in there from our Sarah Signature collection. Then you've got a cut and emboss folder here too, which is this gorgeous butterfly swirl, so you can really get lots of texture there. You've also got something from our Best of British there with that awesome picket fence, and you're also going to get this one in here too, which is our Butterfly Dreams. So a really lovely comprehensive collection. It should be £47 or $63, as you can see. Today, £30 or $40 is your price. So definitely snap that up. Pandacraft saying they store their inks in one of their drawers at home. Pamela says, I totally would have removed the letters first. Very clever tip there, Debbie. And Dieta saying, I emboss plain brown bags, then use gilding wax to make nice gift bags. That sounds like a lovely idea, Dieta. Really, really love that. Susie T also says, embossing tissue paper takes all your gifts to the next level. People get so impressed and they really notice it. Yolanda says, I'm coming to the conclusion that all of my crafty friends here are huge enablers. Y'all are supposed to tilt me out of it. Well, let's face it. You just got to do the things that make you happy at the end of the day, haven't you? That's what I try to do. That's why I work with Debbie, because Debbie makes me happy. So that's why we spend loads of time together. Don't forget, any questions? In fact, there was a question that came through a little earlier and I was hanging on to it just for the right moment to ask you, Debbie. Susie T was asking how you can visually tell the difference between a 2D and a 3D embossing folder.
Ah, good question, yes. Well, straight away, you'd be able to tell. I'm just trying to find a 3D embossing folder. Let's grab this one. So let me take this one off. So visually, the 3D embossing folder is thicker. So where did I just put that, Joe? There it is. So if I bring these together, can you see there's a massive difference between the two? You've got one that's really thick and one that's really thin. In fact, I would say the whole piece of this is probably as thick as one of these. So there's a real difference, yeah. So if I'm feeling both of those, this feels as thick as what a a 2D embossing folder feels. So by seeing them, and also, this is going to seem a bit strange, but a 3D is very sculptured. A 2D one, the pattern in that is very one level.
Okay.
Where when you look at this straight away, let me put a piece of card in there so you can see it. Can you see the difference? You've got real sculptured pieces in there. So to be able to get this piece in the background and then this sort of effect on here, that's the difference with a 3D embossing folder. So you would be able to notice them straight away, but the main thing is one is thinner and one is thicker.
Awesome.
Okay.
I hope that answers your question, Susie. Any other questions you've got? Really easy. Get them into me. Crafters TV over on Facebook, Crafters Companion on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube, so you're always informed of when we are going live. Yes, that helps. Over to you then, Debbie.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love that we've come back to this collection because it's a really usable one. If you are a beginner crafter, these are a great one to start out with because this gorgeous picket fence is something that you can use in so many different things. You could use it as an archway, you could cut it out, you can use it on a gatefolded card. It's so pretty. And then you've got this gorgeous butterfly one. I love this one. I love that you could do effects with this. You could panel them, you could cut them down and have like 3-inch panels, which would look really pretty. Use your gilding wax. I mean, even on white cardstock looks amazing. And then you've got your cut and emboss folder. So not only have you got your smaller folders, you've then got that beautiful cut and emboss folder that you're going to be able to do so many different things with. I mean, that's like a dome front card blank. So lots of different effects and different combinations that you can do with that in concept cards. And then I was looking for that other one, but we don't seem to have it. So if I bring in my piece of card that I did do earlier, if I can find what I've done with it. No, I've probably, oh, there it is, there it is, there it is. So just bringing in this one here, so you can see we did that beautiful embossing and use that gorgeous gilding wax on the top of it there. Now, what I did want to show this time, Joe, is I wanted to bring in those smaller folders because anybody that maybe has a Gemini Mini, these folders will fit through there. So if you've ever thought when we've mentioned about folders, now this one, the Mini comes with a purple folder, which you would have to run that through with the 2D one. I can't find one at the moment, but the 3D embossing folder, you just put that through as it is. So
oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the same through the MIDI as well?
Yeah, same through the MIDI.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly the same. So I'm just going to put my piece of card is a little bit too big, so let's just cut that down. So you need a 3 by 6 inch piece of cardstock. So I'm just going to cut this to my actual folder and along the bottom. And all you have to do, I mean, it really couldn't be simpler. Yeah, so if you've got a MIDI, all of these folders will fit through there. And you literally put that through. So running that through, and then you get that beautiful, I mean, look at that.
Love that.
Such gorgeous embossing there you're getting through there, and that's just in your mini machine, so really good one to have there. But if you was to use your other ones, just being able to use the cardstock that you've got in there, you'll be able to create so many different things. So what I am going to do, I'm going to put this one through, so onto some black ones, so you can see that. I'll put some gilding wax on there so you can see that gorgeous picket fence, and then I'm going to bring in just this, let's bring in the cut and emboss one so you can see that being cut if you've just joined us. So popping that down. What I am going to use is my bigger plates, and that way I can put them through at the same time because my cut and emboss folder is a 2D folder and the actual gate one is, the fence one is a 2D embossing folder, so I can put them through all at the same time.
Awesome. Marisol is loving that folder that you just shared with us there. Marisol also says she's got papers and dies next to me to do the big word card, so she's going to get going on those while she's watching them.
I love those new word ones.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Yeah, they're loads of fun. If you want to go, you need more inspiration from those. There was a launch day earlier this week. When was it? Friday, I want to say. Yeah, Friday. So you can go and check that out if you need some inspiration. Gilmore says, I didn't realise the colours on the folder meant something. There you are.
So you can see with, well, you probably can't see actually, but I am going to use my gilding wax on here, and I'm just going to put on quite a bit
Oh, you're going a bit heavy-handed here,
I
Debbie.
am going a bit heavy-handed because the fence itself has got quite a lot of, not a lot of gap. So it doesn't matter going on a little bit heavier. But I just want to highlight that quite quickly. Show the little bird on there. We've got the vines going around the fence. And there we go.
It looks absolutely beautiful.
Now what I would do with this, Joe, is I would buff it and then I would put another layer on, because what we've done is we've put that over Centura Pearl.
Right.
So you're getting that Centura Pearl. So I'm just going to buff that there to make that shiny, and then we'll just pop some more in those other places, and it will just build up that colour, because what you might find is it doesn't always take as well on Centura because it's a coated cardstock. So when you want it to actually go on more, just give that another buff, and that will start then going into there a little bit more.
Awesome.
And then you'll just get that gorgeous effect on that fence there, which is beautiful.
Love that.
And then our other one, let me just bring that one in, wipe this off my hands because I've got gilding wax everywhere now. And it's funny, isn't it? Because we say go sparingly with gilding wax because it's once it's transferred onto something, it's hard to get off. But actually, it comes off your hands really easy, which is good news.
Someone said, Heidi has said, can you colour mirror card? If so, with what?
Oh, absolutely. Mirror card is beautifully coloured. In fact, we'll show you. You can only do it with alcohol markers.
Okay.
Because your alcohol markers are the ones that will dry onto it. So I've not used a very bright colour there. Let me see if I've got a pink and a blue here, which might highlight better. So we will see it more when I do it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think if the lighter colour, yeah, I think a lighter colour will work better on it. But yeah, in fact, it's a beautiful way to do your colouring. So just there we go, I can see the pink now. So we can just go around there. Yeah, really, really good question, because you can absolutely use your, and on your glitter card as well, if you wanted to change your glitter card.
Yeah.
You can use it on glitter card when it's embossed as well. So if I just do that to the light, you'll be able to hopefully, pick that.
Yeah, you can see
there
that
we
there.
go. Yeah, so we've got a pink and blue butterfly.
Beautiful.
But yeah, really nice to pick up that detail. And then that cut and emboss folder, if we just take that middle piece out, I mean, you could always do the same, like your paper piece in that back in a different colour with your sentiment, and then you've got your beautiful butterflies that pop out there. I mean, that's incredible, Joe, that we get that level of detail on embossing, and it cuts that at the same time. So absolutely lovely.
Really, really brilliant. Lots of you love that. Heidi, I hope that answers your question. Remember what you're getting in there as well. It's an awesome, awesome collection. You've got in there 30 sheets of Centura Pearl, which is brilliant. You're also getting 4 embossing folders. So you're going to get that one from the Rose Garden. You've got the Caring Thoughts one in here, Best of British, and then that lovely 3D embossing folder in there for you too. So don't miss out on that. A really, really awesome collection if you were looking to get into embossing for the first time. We've also got a brilliant this is your opaque pigment ink pad collection. Great that we've got this in stock at the moment, because I know we have struggled for a while with some of our ink pad colours and types. We've got a brilliant collection here, though, and you're going to get 50 bonus points on this, which is awesome. So in here you're going to get Bordeaux, Grasshopper, Lagoon, Lemon Tonic. You've got the Oasis, Parakeet, Pink Tulip, Crushed Velvet, Honey Pot, Midnight. No, there we are. Orange, Pine Tree, and Spring Meadow. 60% of this ink pad bundle has already sold and gone, so do grab those. Let me also share with you something from our spring sale collection that you guys are loving in the show, and it is this gorgeous collection of embossing folders. You get loads in here for the price. It's a less than half price deal for you. You've got some Rose Garden in here with that gorgeous rose trellis. We have then got the Diamond Lattice. from, of course, our Rose Gold collection. Some Best of British in here with the beach huts. You've got the Rick Rack and also the Crafty Notions. Both of those coming from Crafty Fun. Something else from the Best of British, that postcard. This is going to be great for travel themes, for any kind of cards or scrapbooks, I'm thinking. And you've then got the decorative rose frame, which is a cut and emboss folder in there for you. Part of our spring sale, up to 70% off for the spring sale. What I would say is we are adding products every single day, so make sure you head over there and have a look to see what daily new products are being added. Now, if you are new to us here at Crafters TV, hello, welcome. You may have discovered us or stumbled upon us on Facebook or YouTube or something like that. If you are new to us, here's all the details on how you can watch and shop at the same time.
Hi, I'm Joe from Crafters TV, and I'm here to show you how you can grab the best deals and shop whilst you watch during our shows. So the best way to watch us is always on Crafters TV. Head on over to our homepage and go to Crafters TV. You can see all of our shows, offers, and even shop while you watch. Now if you want to get involved and comment along, head over to our Facebook page. Come say hello, ask us some questions, and lol with us. Or you can watch us on YouTube. Simply head to our Crafters Companion YouTube channel. Got a smart TV? You can even AirPlay directly onto your big screen. We're constantly adding new and exciting shows to our schedule, so don't forget to check in. It's never been easier to have us in your living room. It's always fun here at Crafters TV, so come join us as we create every day.
All the details there, of course, how you can watch and shop at the same time, which is awesome. I'm just going to grab the 3D embossing folders for you. We're going to go back to these ones. I know Debbie is desperate to go back to these ones. What you've got in here, of course, is the Gossamer Lace, which, you all right over there? You having a little chuckle? Gossamer Lace. You've got the lavish leopard print. You've also got vintage scrolls, peony bouquet, Debbie's absolute favourite, climbing ivy, and the Grande Butterfly. The Peony Bouquet and the Gossamer Lace are only available in the collection. The others are available individually. When the price is that good, I'd definitely be snapping up that full collection. So Peony Bouquet. Mrs. Bouquet of the house, not Mrs. Bucket, Debbie.
Not Mrs. Bucket, not at all. Do you know what? These are my all-time favourite embossing folders. I love them so much. I mean, I do love a 3D embossing folder, but look how funky that is. That leopard print is amazing. I've never seen a folder like this before. It looks amazing. This is a great one to do if you're using the letterpress technique. You've got that gorgeous vintage scrolls as well, so that really deep, gorgeous embossing. The vines one, everything about these, they're so usable. You can use them on your backgrounds. They look beautiful. But I have to say, look at this peony bouquet. We're going to be doing one like this, showing how to use two of the folders together, which looks incredible. And then we've got that gorgeous butterfly one we did earlier, and then just loads of different ways. But look at this one, doing the letterpress technique in your gorgeous just pale fig colour. It looks amazing. So we're going to get started on these, but what I did want to show, I wanted to show how we can do different things within folders, not just putting through a piece of 5x7 cardstock. So what I've actually got here, I've decided to do myself a little easel card, a twisted easel. So I want a piece, so if I bring in my card, all I've used is my 5x5 card. I've done a diagonal line with my scoreboard so we can stand that up. So I want another piece here that I can put at the bottom, and then I've got a piece of card which I've already embossed to put on the bottom layer. So I wanted to do that just to show that you don't have to just do a full piece of card. I've used my inverted nesting dies, so I've created just my outside cutting edge, and then I've got my black cardstock. So I'm actually going to make a focal point of our peony bouquet, and I'm going to place that just inside. I'm not even worried where or what that does, because I'll get that main focal point, but it'll give me a topper for my card rather than a full background. And then we're going to use this swells to do underneath. underneath. Now the swirls I'm going to do slightly different. When I place that in there, I'm going to make sure that this part is the indented part, because that's the piece where underneath will push up into the cardstock. But what I want to do is add some ink onto here. So I'm going to bring in my Midas ink pad again. So this is my gold metallic ink pad, and I'm just going to place it onto my corner of my folder there. So first of all, I'm just going to rub that round, just popping it into here, and then it's going to give me that beautiful letterpress technique. And then we're going to angle this into the corner and get that gorgeous embossing. So as I bring that down, I'm just holding that into place, and that covers all that background. And then I'm going to use this one. Now, because I have two folders that are 3D, I can bring in my plates, but this time I need to switch out. So I'm just going to grab my magnetic and my plastic shim, because we need then our plastic shim, our
Deborah,
magnetic, sorry Joe,
that's right,
and then
sorry.
I'm going to place both of our folders into our Gemini machine.
Deborah was saying Peony Bouquet is also her absolute favourite,
Yes,
Debbie, so
gorgeous,
she's with you there.
absolutely.
Pamela says, I don't think I'd ever thought of colouring the mirror card, so thank you for that. Susan says she's learning loads as well. Gilmore saying they're going to be colouring onto a mirror card as well. Rhonda says, good morning, everyone from Chicago. I'm really running late today. Don't worry, Rhonda. You'll be able to go back and watch all of the bits you missed as soon as this show ends. So, and you can do that with all of our shows anytime, which is awesome.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, which is amazing, isn't it? I was actually thinking that the other day, Joe, because I know that there's places where you can go and do like craft-alongs and stuff, but you have to pay for them.
I know.
Ours are all free, which is amazing.
Absolutely.
And you can watch them back at any time. So we've got that gorgeous deep embossing on here. Can't really see it too much, but we are going to put some gilding wax on. And then if I bring that one in, I mean, look at that background that
That's
we've
stunning,
created.
isn't it?
Yeah, really gorgeous. So we're going to use that on our card, but I'm then going to put some gilding wax onto this one. So I'm bringing in my antique gold. I think actually it's not my antique gold, is it? It's King Gold.
King Gold.
King Gold. Oh no, I'm using one that's not here, so I do apologise. It's sold out. You've all beat us
indeed.
to it. And then we're going to go in with this. And again, for me, more is more on this. I like to really load up these toppers with some gorgeous gilding wax. Now, this is what we're talking about when we're talking about different levels of 3D. Look at that embossing in the background there. I mean, it really is quite incredible. So layering that up, rubbing that down.
It looks almost like a piece of resin, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Or
it
metal
does.
from here.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're doing a topper like this, I would definitely put more on. So especially when you're coming into your flowers, go in a little bit more with them, because it does, Joe, you're right. It looks like that gorgeous resin. I mean, you could actually make these if you did spray them like with your spray and sparkle, or your, we do a, what's the green can? We do a can which is like a varnish, but I can't think what it's
I don't
called.
know. I don't think I've seen that
Stick
one.
and shine.
Stick
It's
and
a stick
shine.
and shine,
Right.
yes. You could put that over the top. If you did these in your circles, cut circles out, you could make your own little coasters. Right, so what I'm going to do is just grab my piece of tissue so we can buff that up and make that ultra shiny. And also then that won't transfer onto anything else.
Awesome. Does it change the look when you buff it?
Yes, and it's very subtle, but you can really notice the difference. You might not notice it on the camera, but it really does make it almost like that piece of metal. It just is gorgeous, really beautiful. So we've got our topper, I've got my piece that goes around the top there, so we've created quite an aged looking topper there, which looks amazing. So I'm going to use my, let me grab a piece of, I can do this on my kitchen towel, just I'm using my dotty tape pen just to go around the edges so we can stick that down. And you can use your gilding wax. So if you're going from that our first buy with those embossing folders and your gilding wax in that set, you can use it on your photo frames, on your furniture. It's great for mirrors, like if you wanted to give your mirrors a little bit of a distressed or a better look around the edges with some gilding wax, that would be amazing.
You're having to give that a good old squish down?
Yes, make sure you really push that down, because obviously, in fact, I'm not even sure if it's going to stick. Oh, it seems to be stuck.
Yeah.
So let me just pop all my lids back on. And then I'm just going to bring in my piece. So I've done another piece here. So one for the base of our card. So we'll pop this onto here. So my tape pen's hiding. There we go.
Yeah, I haven't seen you lose tacky glue yet today, you know.
I haven't used my tacky glue.
What's going on with that?
I don't know actually, Joe. I think because I always tend to think with demos for embossing, they're more about the sort of techniques than the making. But actually, I've made quite a few makes today as well. So.
We'll vote on your card of the show as well after this demonstration, if that's all right with you.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Brilliant.
Yes, very good.
Gilmore says, wow, this will be cute to add to a vintage project. Terry Lee says, beautiful,
Absolutely.
Debbie. Aisha says she loves getting free lessons. Fanny says, thanks for showing us the wax. I sometimes over wax. You're more than welcome, Fanny. Deborah says as well, Peony Bouquet is also my favourite.
Sorry, Joe, I was miles away then. I was miles away sticking. Can you just repeat what the last comment was?
It was from Fanny, who says sometimes she over waxes with
Oh
her
no, I
gilding
heard
wax.
that one, and then you said another one, and then I lost track of that one.
Oh, I don't know now, because
And now
I've pressed
you've
something
lost
on my
track.
thing, and I don't know what I've got.
On
My
your thing.
messages have disappeared. Let me just try that again. Here we go. Oh, now I've got to log back in. Sorry, I'm all of a tither.
All in a tither. Right, so I'm just going to grab some bigger, hopefully. We've only got small, what they're called, foam pads.
Only small foam pads. Oh no! Do you want me to? Try and get you some out of the secret stash?
It's. Do you know? Yeah, these are like the smallest ones ever. These would have been perfect for the letters that we did earlier.
Oh
These are
yes.
smaller. Yeah, and they would have stood up a little bit more because our foam pads are in different sizes, so these ones are actually thicker. Let's do one more, pop that into the centre, and this is going to act as our stopper. So I just found a little stamp which says, friendship is a flower that blooms in all seasons.
Oh, I love that.
And then we're going to pop that onto there, and there we go. So bringing that round, I mean, that's a beautiful vintage card. And I did do, the first one I did, but I thought it was a little bit plain, but I'm going to bring this one in just to show a variation in what you can do with them.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, whilst I just recap what's in that deal, do you want fancy grabbing everything you've made? And we'll vote on the card of the show, which will be fantastic. So let's recap everything that you're getting included in here, which is brilliant. So we've got the gossamer lace in here. This one is only available in the main collection. You've also got the lavish leopard print. Then there's your vintage scroll. Peony bouquet, also only available in the big bundle. You've got climbing ivy, and you've also got grande butterfly in there as well, which is brilliant. Right, are you ready for, have you got your voting fingers ready? Debbie, let's run through what the options are then for card of the show.
Yeah, so the first one we did was the hummingbird, so that's number one. Then we've got that beautiful butterfly, number two. Then we've got our window, number three. And then that vintage one we just did, which is number four.
Awesome. So 1, 2, 3 or 4. Let us know in the comments. Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion over on YouTube. You guys have been sending us in some images as well, which is lovely of you. So let's have a little look at those, if we may. Mary has sent this in to us using that cut and emboss folder. I love that. Has she then put some sort of floral decoupage in there as well?
Yeah, that's from the Caring Thoughts. Yeah,
Awesome.
It's beautiful. I love that, just done in that really either sort of creamy white or white colour. Yeah, it looks amazing. I love that embossing folder. It's really pretty.
Shelley White sent this one in as well.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So yes, that was, did we do, no, we didn't do that one. We did something different.
We did
it was the hummingbird.
Yes.
Hummingbird.
Hilda's sent this one in very shabby chic.
Oh, I love that. That's beautiful.
Hilda sent us
Absolutely
about 9. We had to narrow it down to a couple, I'm afraid. We only have so much space in the computer. She did this one. She's also done this one as well, Debbie, which I like.
Oh, isn't it beautiful? Yeah, that's lovely. It looks like, oh no, I thought it was a shaker card then, but I think
I
you
did
just
for a
put
second.
Coloured card. Oh no, actually, I'm not sure. It might be coloured card in the background. Yeah, it's gorgeous though. And it does show the level of embossing on that card and your then cut out elements. It's gorgeous.
Brilliant. Michelle sent this one in to us as well. Happy birthday, using some of her smaller stamps and dies in there as well, which is fantastic. Now, we're going to move back to the everyday folders, which are these ones that are, of course, the cut and emboss folders. Now, let me run through these for you. So in here, you have got, and I love these because they're 6 really usable sentiments. So things that you're going to use all the time, which is brilliant. So you've got birthday, congrats, you've also got friend, home. What happened there? Home. I mean, home, love, and also what happened there? Thanks as well. So you got all of those. This really is like the deal on these guys. If you've been waiting for an awesome deal on them, then definitely grab them, because if you were to get them usually when they launched or individually, they're $12.99 or $14.99. So I mean, you're paying for like what, 2.5 of these. We'll send you the rest totally free of charge, which is absolutely stonking great value, I think, don't you, Debbie?
Yeah, it's amazing value. I love when you can get an embossing folder at an amazing price, and they really are. The one thing we put on every card, Joe, is a sentiment. So actually having an embossing folder where you've got that word in it as well at the same time, I mean, it couldn't get no better, could it?
Absolutely.
So what I am going to do now, I'm bringing in some green cardstock. I've created a card blank. Now my card blank is a 5x7, and then I've just done it so I've got a little 2-inch extra on the end there where I folded it in, just to give a little stepper, and it just gives something a little bit different. Now I know we're getting quite short of time, so I would use watercolour cardstock. Then I've used the glitter ink, which is the I think it's a Festive Spruce. Yes, Festive Spruce.
Maybe in the traditional Christmas, I'll check.
Yes. So give that a colour wash. Now what I've done with this
It is in
as
the
well,
traditional Christmas
yeah,
that's on the show.
So what I've done is I've put it on directly, and then I've watered it down with water. So and it just creates sort of different patterns. And then when it's dry, I think you might just be able to pick that up, but you've got a beautiful shimmer in that card. And then I picked out some of our light green cards to lay behind. So this one I'm going to just layer on the top of our card here. So let's stick that down first, and then we will use our folder to go through the one that we've created with our sparkle ink pads. And all I've done for that front stepper, because I didn't think it needed anything much on there, it was just a different way of doing a card. I've just created a little strip and put some gems on the side. So we will just pop our tape onto there and stick that to the front.
Awesome. Apparently, the reason you've only got the small ones is because Craig was chucking them all over the studio for the Copacabana song.
Oh, is that what it was? Right.
PPE Pam there, throwing Craig right under the bus, just for the record.
I did wonder what they were. I did wonder what he was throwing. I didn't really, but of course it was the foam pads. And I bet it wasn't his own foam pads, was it?
No, of course not.
Oh, do you know what, Joe? I haven't got the Friends embossing folder with me.
Which one?
The Friends. So I'm going to do a different one because it doesn't matter. It just means that we will show the variations, which will be good. So my finished card is with the Friend.
Okay.
But we'll do a congrats one, and we'll have 2 different ones, won't we?
Absolutely.
So let me grab my plates. Again, 2D embossing folder, which means we need our top cutting plates, and I'm going to put in our metal shim because that's a die as well. So pop them into place and run them through your machine. And there we go. Now this time I'm not going to actually use the letters inside, but keep them, because each one of the words that you cut out, if you keep those letters, will create that actual word for another card, which is quite handy.
I guess you could double cut these and paper piece them back in if you wanted to as well, Debbie.
Oh, totally, yeah. I mean, you could do them in a totally different colour. Yeah, absolutely paper piece them. They would look amazing.
Aisha's, OMG, Joe, leave Craig alone. He's on vacation. It wasn't me, Aisha. It was PPE Pam. So don't be bringing that to my door. That's all on Pam, not on me.
So I'm just going to trim this piece down just so it fits onto our actual card there. So just the edges, just so it shows the edge of my pretty light green cardstock. There we go.
Love it.
Pop that in there. But what I am going to do, Joe, is we're going to use this on top. So I'm going to bring in my foam pad roll. Oh, I'm dropping everything here. Pop that on the top and trim those down. So this time what we're doing is bringing this piece a little bit higher, and then it will reflect through. At this point, if you wanted to, you could make your own shaker card. You could put acetate in it. And actually a really good tip as well, if you're making a shaker card like this, only put your acetate in this centre point.
Okay.
And your sequins or your beads or whatever you're putting, and then you won't have all this wasted space. So you only do it where you actually want that.
You don't want to get your sequins nowhere no one's going to see them. What's the point of that?
Absolutely. You don't want them all sinking to the bottom and not being able to see them.
Way too fabulous for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, so they would lend themselves beautifully for your eclipse cards, for your shaker cards, so all different ones. And then we're going to pop this onto the front of our card. So
Shannon says, my mum always said if they pick on you, it means they care. If they didn't, then they wouldn't bother. Good point there. Beautiful,
so if
Debbie.
I bring that one in and then I bring my friend one in, so you can see we've got two different ones there. Oh, and what I didn't do, as I didn't bring it with me either, is you can either use a paintbrush, which we could do. Let me see if we've got a thin one. I did see this one. I don't know if it's got, oh yeah, we've got some water in it. If you go over your embossing here with water, so I'm just actually using a water brush, but what you can do is you can bleach it out.
Okay.
So I'm just doing a little bit, so as you go round, you can just then bleach that out. So if I bring in my tissue, and it doesn't matter that it's dry, the more water, there is not a lot of water in here, but if the more water that you use, you can actually bleach it out. So when you come to this part, can you see, you take the water out of what you've put in there, so it creates a whole different effect. And there we go.
Brilliant. I think that looks awesome. Really fantastic. What a great, simple, yet quite a quick card, Debbie, you'd say. If you had a lot to make, you could really get a lot of those done. Let me recap exactly what you've got in there. So you have got your birthday, you've also got congrats, friend, home, there's love, and also thanks coming to you in there. Card of the show, Debbie. Ooh. I've now lost it. Here it is. It's card number 1.
Oh, number 1. That's the hummingbird.
I'm not surprised. I really am not surprised.
It is beautiful, I have to say. It is such a gorgeous embossing folder. And actually, that's, they're so easy to do because you've got the stencil to do that and the embossing folder. It just makes it so much easier.
It does indeed. Really gorgeous. So it's going to be quite a challenge for today's, isn't it? So do we do card of the day in this show, or do we do it in the next show? Because we do card of the week in the next show. So we do day and week in the next show. Whew, no pressure, Erin. Right, let me run you through. We've got a couple of the gilding waxes on their own. Now, whilst it is available in the starter kit, this one here is the antique gold that you've got. It is just, do you know what is it open? No, it's not. I wonder if the other one's open. So that's the antique gold. This is the Renaissance. Which is beautiful. Oh, I love the way they smell. I think you're allowed to smell them. Yeah, it's fine. But they just smell like. They smell like boot polish, but like fabulous at the same time. So, but a cross between like your rich uncle that always smells of good cologne, and boot polish. That's a good way to describe them. Absolutely gorgeous. 90% limited stock on the antique gold. A little bit more stock there for you of the Renaissance. I started saying like that. That's how my producer Erin says it, Renaissance. I say Renaissance, but I actually prefer, I think Erin sounds more fancy, Renaissance. Anyway, so, no, you stop it. No, you stop it. Right, let me go back through these opaque ink pads for you. It's a brilliant 13-piece collection, and you're going to get some bonus points on here too. So we've got Bordeaux, Lagoon, you've also got Oasis, Pink Tulip, the Honey Pot, Orange, Grasshopper, Lemon Tonic, Parakeet, Crushed Velvet, Midnight, Pine Tree, and also Spring Meadow there for you. You've got all of those, which is absolutely brilliant. £50 or $60, £40 as a Club Inspire Platinum member if you want to get your hands on those ones. Now, loads, isn't there, coming up in Second Chance Sunday, Debbie? Do you want to give us a little bit of a sort of sneaky peek at what you might be doing, or a little bit of inspiration?
Actually, you know what, Joe? I've got so much that I can't wait. To start with, we've got Sarah's Vintage Diary.
Nice.
So, yeah, I've got some demos on that, which I'm really excited to show you. We've got some easel cards. We've got so much going on that you're just going to love to tune in for it. So, yeah, so tune in. It will be great.
Make sure you come and join back and join us both for that. That is 2 hours from now, so 7 p.m. in the UK, 3 p.m. on the East Coast, 11 a.m. on the West Coast. So that's what's happening then. But also remember tomorrow as well, a brand new day. It is a wake-up call for you at midday, and that'll be with Debbie Robinson. Craig is on vacation this week, so he's having a lovely week off. He's actually off for the entire week. How lovely. So Debbie will be here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Jan, I think, will be here Thursday, and then Debbie Fisher will be doing Wake Up Call on Friday. How exciting. Did you know that, Debbie? Oh, she did. She did know that.
Yeah, I did. I had to check because I didn't know. I was like, I had to email and say, am I just popping in to say hello?
No, you are the show, Debbie.
I am the show.
You're basically the Ruth Langsford of Crafters TV, which I love.
So are you going to be my Amond?
I would if I was here. I would be your
that'd be
Amond,
Ben.
but
That'd be Ben.
unfortunately not. Oh, hang on. I am here. Yeah, I'll be your Amond. I am here.
We will
yeah,
be
I'm here
your
on
Amond
Friday.
and Ruth then on Friday.
Absolutely. Yeah, that'll be awesome. Can't wait for that. Oh, how exciting.
Yes.
Right, you've got a couple of hours in to get yourself sorted and get yourself back here with us for a great Second Chance Sunday show. Also, don't forget to check out your baskets. Don't forget to check out the spring sale. Remember, we're adding we're adding new deals every single day, which is fantastic. So don't forget, in the US, something special is happening next week. I might tell you in the Second Chance Sunday show. I might not be allowed to, but I might just, maybe I'll write it down like a secret message, like a lady passing on a train somewhere. I don't know. We'll see what we can do. But make sure you're back here in a couple of hours, and I will see you there. We're going to close out the week in style. Take care.